New York is one of the busiest cities in the world. New York is busier than most of the cities in the world. Very few cities in the world are as busy as New York. Do all the sentences mean the same? Let's have a look at 3 more sentences. Mark is the most intelligent boy in the class. Mark is more intelligent than any other boy in the class. No other boy in the class is so or as intelligent as Mark. Are all 3 sentences conveying the same meaning? You will soon know the answers yourself. In the previous 2 lessons on adjectives, we learned to compare the qualities of 2 or more persons, animals, and things. As we know how to compare the qualities, it's time to take our understanding to another level with regard to 3 degrees of comparison: positive, comparative, and superlative. In this lesson, we learn to interchange the degrees of comparison without changing the meaning that we want to convey. In simple words, if we have a sentence which has a superlative degree of adjective, we learn to say the same thing using positive and comparative degrees. Friends, my name is Hemant Singh Rana and you're watching Enliven English, making the language entertaining, lively and functional. And it's time to learn something new. Degrees can be interchanged when the comparison is made in the same group, class or category, and that too without changing the meaning. See a sentence on your screen. Steve is the fittest of all players. Here the adjective fit is in the superlative degree. With positive and comparative degrees of fit, we can frame at least 2 more sentences conveying the same thing. How? Let's see. Steve is fitter than all other players. Or Steve is fitter than any other player. No other player is so or as fit as Steve. Even though the sentence was framed in 3 different ways, the meaning remained the same, that Steve is the fittest in his group. Let's see another example of interchange of degrees. Mark is the most intelligent boy in the class. Mark is more intelligent than any other boy in the class. Or Mark is more intelligent than all other boys in the class. No other boy in the class is so or as intelligent as Mark. The sentence patterns are not difficult to understand. Observe carefully the comparative degrees followed by a phrase "than any other player or boy" or "all other players or boys." Similarly, in the positive degree, it is "no other player or boy" followed by adverb "so" or "as," adjective in its base form, and adverb "as" again. In both cases, Steve and Mark were the fittest and the most intelligent in their respective groups. But there are times when a person, thing, or animal is not the only one, but one among many to have the highest degree of quality in their respective categories or groups. Let's see how in that case we can convey the same meaning using positive and comparative degrees. Elephant is one of the largest animals on the planet. Elephant is larger than most other animals on the planet. Very few animals on the planet are as large as elephant. Tim is one of the most skillful players in the team. Tim is more skillful than most of the players in the team. Very few players in the team are as skillful as Tim. New York is one of the busiest cities in the world. New York is busier than most other cities in the world. Very few cities in the world are as busy as New York. Again, the sentence patterns are not difficult to understand. The comparative degree is followed by most other animals, players, or cities. In the positive degree, the same meaning is conveyed by beginning the sentence with very few animals, players, or cities and ending it with adverb as plus base form of adjective plus as plus subject. So far, we were talking about someone or something being either the best or better than most others in their respective categories. But what if someone is not the best, or two things or persons have the same qualities, or we want to convey that one is not better than the other? Let's see how we can interchange the degrees in such situations. Chris is not the best player in the team. Chris is not better than some other players in the team. Some players in the team are not less good than Chris. Some players in the team are at least as good as Chris. London is not the busiest city in the world. London is not busier than some other cities in the world. Some cities in the world are at least as busy as London. Now let's see some examples where the comparison is between two persons. Martha is better than Alice. Alice is not so good as Martha. Mark is not so fast as Steve. Steve is faster than Mark. Now let's see how we can interchange the degrees of comparison when the two qualities are compared within the same person or category. Mark has more intelligence than talent. Mark doesn't have as much talent as intelligence. Steve is more agile than flexible. Steve is not so much flexible as agile. Some animals have more strength than brains. Some animals do not have as much brains as strength. So this is how we can use the three degrees of comparison interchangeably, and that too without changing the meaning. But there is one important thing that we need to keep in mind, and that is the person, animal or thing whose quality is being compared with that of the rest of the group must be excluded from it. This we will understand with the help of an example. Gold is more expensive than any other metal. With the phrase any other, we have excluded gold from the rest of metals. Many forget to use any and write the sentence as gold is more expensive than any metal. Gold is also a metal, and when we say any metal, it includes gold as well and doesn't exclude it, so it's incorrect. Let's see some more sentences. Martha is more intelligent than any woman in the office. In this sentence too, we need to exclude Martha from the rest of the group by using other. So the correct sentence is Martha is more intelligent than any other woman in the office. Let's see two more examples. Steve is faster than any woman athlete in the team. This notebook is cheaper than any pen on the table. Both sentences are correct. Now you would say how these sentences could be correct when we haven't put other before athlete and pen. The reason is both do not belong to the rest of the group and are compared not with their own kind. Here we can do without other, as any woman excludes Steve and any pen excludes notebook. So friends, this completes our study related to the interchange of degrees of comparison. In case there are any questions or doubts, do share them with me. In the next lesson, we'll look into the curious case of pronouns in relation to the 3 degrees of comparison. I'll be back with you soon. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. Goodbye.